Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm Tracy. Lady in Red reads the Word. Thank you so much for following along with me daily as we continue in the book of First Samuel. And we're going to be starting on chapter 18 today. So please, once I finish this hymn, please follow along with me today. I'm going to be singing this little song, How Great is Our God. So please join along with me at home as I try my best to sing this song today. Thank you so much. The splendor of the King, clothed in majesty, let all the earth rejoice, let all the earth rejoice. He wraps himself in light, and darkness tries to hide, and tremble at his voice, and trembles at his voice. How great is our God. Sing with me, how great is our God. And all will see how great is our God. How great is our God. Sing with me, how great is our God. And all will see how great is our God. Age to age he stands, and time is in his hands, beginning and the end, beginning and the end. The Godhead three in one, Father, Spirit, Son, the Lion and the Lamb, the Lion and the Lamb. How great is our God. Sing with me, how great is our God. And all will see how great is our God. How great is our God. Sing with me, how great is our God. And all will see how great is our God. Name above all names, worthy of our praise. My heart will sing, how great is our God. He's the name above all names, and he is worthy of our praise. And my heart will sing, how great is our God. How great is our God. Sing with me, how great is our God. And all will see how great is our God. He's a name above all names, and he is worthy of our praise. And my heart will sing, how great is our God. How great is our God. Sing with me, how great is our God. And all will see how great is our God. How great is our God. Sing with me, how great is our God. And all will see how great How great is our God. Hallelujah. How great is our God. Sing with me, how great is our God. And all will see how great is our God. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. As you joined along with me with that today, I really do appreciate your help for helping me to try and sing worship songs daily with you and for you, and we do it together. So thank you so much for that today. I really did enjoy it. We're going to pick up with 1 Samuel chapter 18. So please join along with me today. And it came to pass, when he had made an end of speaking unto Saul, that the soul of Jonathan was knit with the soul of David. And Jonathan loved him as his own soul. And Saul took him that day, and would let him go no more home to his father's house. Then Jonathan and David made a covenant, because he loved him as his own soul. And Jonathan stripped himself of his robe that was upon him, and gave it to David, and his garments, even to his sword, and to his bow, and to his girdle. And David went out whithersoever Saul sent him, and behaved himself wisely. And Saul set him over the men of war, and he was accepted in the sight of all the people, and also in the sight of Saul's servants. And it came to pass, as they came, when David was returned from the slaughter of the Philistines, that the women came out of all cities of Israel, singing and dancing to meet King Saul, and with tambourines, with joy, and with instruments of music. And the women answered one another as they played, and said, Saul has slain his thousands, and David his 10,000s. And Saul was very angry, and the saying displeased him. And he said, They have ascribed unto David 10,000s, and to me they have ascribed but thousands. And what can he have more but the kingdom? And Saul eyed David from that day and forward. And it came to pass on the morrow that the evil spirit from God came upon Saul, and he prophesied in the midst of the house. And David played with his hands at other times, and there was a javelin in Saul's hand. And Saul cast the javelin, for he said, I will smite David even to the wall with it. And David avoided out of his presence twice. And Saul was afraid of David, because the Lord was with him, and was departed from Saul. Therefore Saul removed him from him, and made him his captain over 1,000. And he went out and came in before the people. And David behaved himself wisely in all his ways, and the Lord was with him. Wherefore, when Saul saw that he behaved himself very wisely, he was afraid of him. But all Israel and Judah loved David, because he went out and came in before them. And Saul said to David, Behold, my elder daughter Merab, her will I give you to wife. Only be with you valiant for me, and fight the Lord's battles. For Saul said, Let not my hand be upon him, but let the hand of the Philistines be upon him. And David said unto Saul, Who am I? And what is my life, or my father's family in Israel, that I should be son-in-law to the king? But it came to pass at the time when Merab, Saul's daughter, should have been given to David, that she was given unto Adriel the Meholite to wife. And Michal, Saul's daughter, loved David. And they told Saul, and the thing pleased him. And Saul said, I will give him her, that she may be a snare to him, and that the hand of Philistines may be against him. Wherefore Saul said to David, You shall this day be my son-in-law in the one of the twine. And Saul commanded his servants, saying, Commune with David secretly, and say, Behold, the king delights in you, and all his servants love you. Now therefore be the king's son-in-law. And Saul's servants spoke those words in the ears of David. And David said, Seem it to you a light thing to be a king's son-in-law, seeing that I am a poor man and lightly esteemed? And the servants of Saul told him, saying, Oh, this manner spoke David. And Saul said, Thus shall you say to David, The king desires not any dowry, but 100 foreskins of the Philistines, to be avenged of the king's enemies. But Saul thought to make David fall by the hand of the Philistines. And when his servants told David these words, it pleased David well to be the king's son-in-law. And the days were not expired, wherefore David arose and went, he and his men, and killed the Philistines 200 men. And David brought their foreskin, and they gave them in full tale to the king, that he might be the king's son-in-law. And Saul gave him Michal, his daughter, to wife. And Saul saw and knew that the Lord was with David, and that Michal, Saul's daughter, loved him. And Saul was yet the more afraid of David. And Saul became David's enemy continually. Then the princes of the Philistines went forth. And it came to pass, after they went forth, that David behaved himself more wisely than all the servants of David, so that his name was much set by. 1 Samuel chapter 19. And Saul spoke to Jonathan his son and to all his servants that they should kill David. But Jonathan, Saul's son, delighted much in David. And Jonathan told David, saying, Saul my father seeks to kill you. Now therefore I pray you, take heed to yourself until the morning, and abide in a secret place, and hide yourself. And I will go out and stand beside my father in the field where you are, and I will commune with my father of you, and what I see that I will tell you. And Jonathan spoke good of David unto Saul his father, and said unto him, Let not the king sin against his servant, against David, because he has not sinned against you, and because his works have been to you ward very good. For he did put his life in his hand, and killed the Philistines, and the Lord wrought a great salvation for all Israel. You saw it, and did rejoice. Wherefore then will you sin against innocent blood, to kill David without a cause? And Saul hearkened unto the voice of Jonathan, and Saul swore, As the Lord lives, he shall not be killed. And Jonathan gave David, and Jonathan showed him all those things. And Jonathan brought David to Saul, and he was in his presence, as in times past. And there was war again, and David went out and fought with the Philistines, and killed them with the great slaughter, and they fled from him. And the evil spirit from the Lord was upon Saul, as he sat in his house with his javelin in his hand, and David played with his hand. And Saul sought to smite David, even to the wall with the javelin. But he slipped away out of Saul's presence, and he smote the javelin into the wall, and David fled and escaped that night. Saul also sent messengers unto David's house to watch him, and to kill him in the morning. And Michal, David's wife, told him, saying, If you save not your life tonight, tomorrow you shall be killed. And Michal let David down through a window, And he went and fled and escaped. And Michelle took an image and laid it in the bed and put a pillow of goat's hair for his bolster and covered it with a cloth. And when Saul sent messengers to take David, she said, "He is sick." And Saul sent the messenger again to see David, saying, "Bring him up to me in the bed, that I may kill him." And when the messengers were come in, behold, there was an image in the bed, with a pillow of goat's hair for his bolster. And Saul said unto Michelle, "Why have you deceived me so, and sent away my enemy, that he is escaped?" And Michelle answered Saul, "He said unto me, Let me go. Why should I kill you?" So David fled and escaped and came to Samuel to Ramah, and told him all that Saul had done to him. And he and Samuel went and dwelt in Naioth. And it was told Samuel, saying, "Behold, David is at Naioth in Ramah." And Saul sent messengers to take David. And when they saw the company of the prophets prophesying, and Samuel standing as appointed over them, the Spirit of the Lord was upon the messenger of Saul, and they also prophesied. And when it was told Saul, he sent other messengers, and they prophesied likewise. And Saul sent messengers again the third time, and they prophesied also. Then went he also to Ramah, and came to a great well that is in Sector. And he asked and said, "Where are Samuel and David?" And one said, "Behold, they be at Naioth in Ramah." And he went thither to Naioth in Ramah, and the Spirit of God was upon him also. And he went out and prophesied until he came to Naioth in Ramah. And he stripped off his clothes also, and prophesied before Samuel in like manner, and laid down naked all that day and all that night. Wherefore they say, "Is Saul also among the prophets?" 1 Samuel chapter 20. And David fled from Naioth in Ramah, and came and said before Jonathan, "What have I done? What is my iniquity? And what is my sin before your father, that he seek my life?" And he said unto him, "God forbid, you shall not die. Behold, my father will do nothing, either great or small, but that he will show it me. And why should my father hide this thing from me? It is not so." And David swore moreover, and said, "Your father certainly knows that I have found grace in your eyes." And he says, "Let not Jonathan know this, lest he be grieved. But truly as the Lord lives, and as your soul lives, there is but a step between me and death." Then said Jonathan unto David, "Wheresoever your soul desire, I will even do it for you." And David said unto Jonathan, "Behold, tomorrow is the new moon, and I should not fail to sit with the king at meat. But let me go, that I may hide myself in the field until the third day at evening. If your father at all miss me, then say, David earnestly asked leave of me, that he might run to Bethlehem, his city. For there is a yearly sacrifice there for all the family. If he says thus, it is well, your servant shall have peace. But if he be very wroth, then be sure that evil is determined by him. Therefore you shall deal kindly with your servant. For you have brought your servant into a covenant of the Lord with you. Notwithstanding, if there be in me iniquity, kill me yourself. For why should you bring me to your father. And Jonathan said, Far be it from me, for if I knew certainly that evil were determined by my father to come upon you, then would not I tell it to you? Then said David to Jonathan, Who shall tell me? Or what if your father answers you roughly? And Jonathan said unto David, Come, and let us go out into the field. And they went out, both of them, into the field. And Jonathan said unto David, O Lord God of Israel, when I have surrounded my father about tomorrow any time, or the third day, and behold, if there be good toward David, and then send not unto you, and show it you. The Lord do so, and much more to Jonathan. But if it please my father to do you evil, then I will show it to you and send you away, that you may go in peace, and the Lord be with you, as he has been with my father. And you shall not only while yet I live show me the kindness of the Lord, that I die not, but also you shall not cut off your kindness from my house forever. No, not when the Lord has cut off the enemies of David, every one from the face of the earth. So Jonathan made a covenant with the house of David, saying, Let the Lord even require it at the hand of David's enemies. And Jonathan caused David to swear again, because he loved him, for he loved him as he loved his own soul. Then Jonathan said to David, Tomorrow is the new moon, and you shall be missed, because your seat will be empty. And when you have stayed 3 days, then you shall go down quickly, and come to the place where you did hide yourself when the business was in hand, and shall remain by the stone Ezel. And I will shoot 3 arrows on the side thereof, as though I shot at a mark. And behold, I will send a lad, saying, Go, find out the arrows. If I expressly say unto the lad, Behold, the arrows are on this side of you, take them. Then you can come, for there is peace to you, and no hurt, as the Lord lives. But if I say thus unto the young man, Behold, the arrows are beyond you, go your way, for the Lord has sent you away. And as touching the matter which you and I have spoken of, behold, the Lord be between me and me forever. So David hid himself in the field, and when the new moon was come, the king sat him down to eat meat. And the king sat upon his seat, as at other times, even upon a seat by the wall. And Jonathan arose, and Abner sat by Saul's side, and David's place was empty. Nevertheless, Saul spoke not anything that day, for he thought something has befallen him. He is not clean, surely he is not clean. And it came to pass on the morrow, which was the 2nd day of the month, that David's place was empty. And Saul said unto Jonathan his son, Wherefore comes not the son of Jesse to meat, neither yesterday nor today? And Jonathan answered Saul, David earnestly asked leave of me to go to Bethlehem. And he said, Let me go, I pray you, for our father has a sacrifice in the city. And my brother, he has commanded me to be there. And now, if I have found favor in your eyes, let me get away, I pray you, and see my brother. Therefore he comes not unto the king's table. Then Saul's anger was kindled against Jonathan. And he said unto him, You son of the perverse, rebellious woman, do not I know that you have chosen the son of Jesse to your own confusion? and unto the confusion of your mother's nakedness. For as long as the son of Jesse lives upon the ground, you shall not be established, nor your kingdom. Wherefore now send and fetch him unto me, for he shall surely die. And Jonathan answered Saul his father, and said unto him, Wherefore shall he be slain? What has he done? And Saul cast a javelin at him to smite him, whereby Jonathan knew that it was determined of his father to kill David. So Jonathan arose from the table in fierce anger, and did eat no meat the second day of the month. For he was grieved for David, because his father had done him shame. And it came to pass in the morning that Jonathan went out into the field at the time appointed with David, and a little lad with him. And he said unto his lad, Run, find out now the arrows which I shoot. And as the lad ran, he shot an arrow beyond him. And when the lad was come to the place of the arrow which Jonathan had shot, Jonathan cried after the lad and said, Is not the arrow beyond you? And Jonathan cried after the lad, Make speed, haste, stay not. And Jonathan's lad gathered up the arrows and came to his master. But the lad knew not anything, only Jonathan, and David knew the matter. And Jonathan gave his artery unto his lad, and said unto him, Go carry them to the city. And as soon as the lad was gone, David arose out of the place toward the south, and fell on his face to the ground, and bowed himself 3 times, and they kissed one another, and wept one with another, until David exceeded. And Jonathan said to David, Go in peace, for as much as we have sworn, both of us, in the name of the Lord, saying, The Lord be between me and you, and between my seed and your seed forever. And he arose and departed, and Jonathan went into the city. 1 Samuel chapter 21. Then came David to Nob, to Abimelech the priest. And Abimelech was afraid at the meeting of David, and said unto him, Why are you alone, and no man with you? And David said unto Abimelech the priest, The king has commanded me a business, and has said unto me, Let no man know anything of the business whereabout I sent you, and what I have commanded you, and I have appointed my servant to such and such a place. Now therefore, what is under your hand? Give me 5 loaves of bread in my hand, or what there is present. And the priest answered David and said, There is no common bread under my hand, but there is hallowed bread. If the young men have kept themselves at least from women. And David answered the priest and said unto him, Of a truth woman have been kept from us about these 3 days, since I came, and the vessels of the young men are holy, and the bread is in a manner common, yes, though it were sanctified this day in the vessel. So the priest gave him hollow bread, for there was no bread there, but the showbread that was taken from before the Lord, to put hot bread in the day when it was taken away. Now a certain man of the service of Saul was there that day, detained before the Lord. And his name was Doggett, an Edomite, the chiefest of the herdsmen that belonged to Saul. And David said unto Abimelech, And is there none here under your hand, spear or sword? For I have neither brought my sword nor my weapon with me, because the king's business required haste. And the priest said, the sword of Goliath, the Philistine, whom you killed in the valley of Elah, behold, it here wrapped in a cloth behind the ephod. If you would take that, take it, for there is no other save that here. And David said, there is none like that, give it me. And David arose and fled that day for fear of Saul, and went to Achish, the king of Gath. And the servants of Achish said unto him, is not this David, the king of the land? Did they not sing one to another of him in dances, saying, Saul has slain his thousands, and David had his 10,000s? And David laid up these words in his heart, and was so afraid of Achish, the king of Gath. And he changed his behavior before them, and fringed himself mad in their hands, and scrabbled on the doors of the gate, and let his spittle fall down upon his beard. Then said Achish unto his servants, lo, you see the man is mad. Wherefore then have you brought him to me? Have I need of mad men, that you have brought this fellow to play the mad man in my presence? Shall this fellow come into my house? Thank you so much for following along with me today. Thank you so much. We're going to pick up tomorrow in 1 Samuel. We're going to start with chapter 22. So thank you so much, and thank you also for joining me as I tried to sing How Great is Our God today. Thank you so much, and he is great. He's wonderful. I give him all the glory and praise today. And thank you so much for those of you who following along with me. God bless your soul, and have a blessed day.